Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Castaway Anime. I'm Neon Manta,
And I'm Crunchy Bagels.
and I forgot to prepare an intro for this episode of the Spy X Family Part 2, Part 2.
Brilliant, wonderful. I guess I'll pick up the slack here, or at least attempt to. You know it, the cute, adorable show with all the spy thriller stuff. Yeah, I'm doing a terrible job. Oh, hold on, you need to pick up the slack that I failed to pick up.
Alright, it's mid. I'm just kidding. Alright, now that we have your attention, viewer,
Spy X
welcome.
Family is overrated.
Imagine if I titled the video that.
No, what you need to do is title it Spy X Family Core 2 isn't that good, then have a picture of scared Anya or like sad Anya in the thumbnail.
It's
Put
gotta
like
be
a big
sad
red
Anya.
arrow in there. Yeah, Anya crying.
We already tried
in
the red
thumbnail.
arrow experiment, and it either didn't work or YouTube fucked us.
Right,
And
no.
we're
Sad Anya, black and white, melodramatic blue or whatever.
and we're at least a minute into the video, so we can't get demonetized for that one in the future because we're not monetized yet.
What would we get demonetized for?
Because I just said fucked.
Oh.
I said a naughty, and Susan does not appreciate that one bit, apparently.
Well, Susan
sometimes she
can go fuck
does.
herself. And if you, viewer, want to hear a podcast that says fuck a lot, subscribe.
And you can go to literally any of them.
We're not monetized. We have nothing to lose.
We're not unique. We are one of many identical anime podcasts.
Well, that's
But-
not going to get people to sub, Neon.
No. See, if I play up our how shit we are, then they're gonna sub ironically, because
So it's like reverse psychology.
yeah, kinda. All right, that's enough of poorly thought out introductions. Spy X Family Part 2.
So as we all know, I've been enjoying my time with this show, and I've given it. We all know what I'm rating it at this point. A 9 out of 10.
The gas? Surprise! Insert surprise violin stinger sound effect here.
Did you see my Twitter or tweet about it yet? Or did you avoid
I
it
did.
like I said? Okay, good.
I did in fact see your tweet.
Oh wait, you did? Dang it. Maybe I should wait to add to the
Yeah.
media thread
Yeah, I was gonna say
until
maybe-
after.
Yeah. Does Twitter still allow you to schedule when posts go up? Or I suppose you could always just on mobile just save it to your drafts.
I'm not actually sure. I've never tried that out. I'm not a Twitter guy, in case you couldn't tell. But yeah. The thing with Spy Family is, it's good. It has some amazing bits to it, and I will be praising it mostly in this video. But A, there's a flaw that's unique to this core that I will hammer it on. And B, I've been given it the benefit of the doubt, right? So far I've been like, okay, Yor doesn't have any assassin work yet. We'll get to that.
And
This
25
show
episodes
just doesn't-
later.
I think that is like one of the biggest things that's making me lower it to a 9, because that is stupid. That is insane.
You want to know how much meaningful development Yor has gotten throughout this entire first season? She learned how to cook a little better.
Well, that's not entirely fair. She fell in love with Loid, which, to be fair, that was expected.
Yeah,
We always knew that was gonna happen. But at the same time, it still is development. It's just not shocking development.
Yeah, she gets cute and badass moments, but she doesn't get any moments that make me go. They never stop and make me go like, damn. All right, Yor, way to go, good job. I'm invested in
Loid.
Yor.
Yeah, Loid has far more of those moments. There are some in this core that make me go like, whoa, Loid's being really cool, or whoa, I didn't expect Loid to feel that way. But Yor just... I'm so sick of it. Because at the beginning of this core, in the first 3 episodes, she got a little bit of plot relevance. And I was, hyping that up and being like, okay, this is a harbinger for things to come. It was not a harbinger for things to come. It just isn't. And that's really frustrating at this point.
You know what's more fucked up? Uh, I know this is jumping ahead just a little bit, but new character that got introduced this block of episodes, Fiona, has had a total of like what 3 episodes that she's been in, three or maybe 4, and in those 3 to 4 episodes, she's gotten more like narrative development than your.
She, by default of being a spy, she does have more narrative relevance than Yor, because the only narrative that the show is intent on sticking to is either spying or Anya at school. When, there's this third character, this third facet of the spy family universe, if you will, that it just doesn't. It was a really shocking moment to me when I think it's, episode 20, at the beginning of episode 20. Yor literally describes in her head, she has this daydream about what she does on a regular basis while doing assassin work when Anya asks her about her job for a school project. And that little, like, daydream in her head is, like, more information on what exactly her work entails than anything else in the show. And that shouldn't be the case.
It's played for a laugh, mind you. Like,
yeah.
She's imagining, like, training Anya to take her out on an assassination job, and she does have this monologue, like, pretending to explain it to Anya, being like, oh yeah, by taking this job and like killing these corrupt individuals, I think of it as like cleaning up the filth in this country and making it safer for everyone else. And when I think about that, it makes me, take pride in my work. And that's like the most insight we've gotten. Well, I'll say interesting insight to Yor we've gotten as a character in the entire show thus far. And it was played for a laugh.
See, that's like a legitimately interesting ideology. Okay, so she believes that murder is in fact ethical in certain situations. That's like that's like an ideology. That's super interesting. And we get that in a joke bit instead of, imagine how much better this reveal would have been if for the first time in the second core of this show, we get to see Yor going on an assassin journey. And up to this point, we have no idea how she, like, rationalizes it morally in her head, but we get that reveal of, like, oh, this guy's, like, a bad person, and, oh, I'm cleaning up the filth of society. She says, like, that, like, as she's murdering him, and, like, she does it as painlessly as possible, and monologues about how, I want to make it painless because even if they are the filth of society, the least I can do is make it painless for them. That would be so baller. I would have been, my jaw would have been open. I would have been like, whoa, that's cool. This ain't cool though.
Like, it's a good scene, don't get me wrong. Because it is very funny to see her explain to Anya the best way to kill a person as efficiently and painlessly as possible while she is getting splattered in the face with blood.
Yeah, that's what really got me about the scene.
But boy howdy, it's the worst part is that I really like Yor. She's cute, she's funny, she's like her like she's comically strong, like inhumanly strong. Like we see the spies do crazy like strong things, but like you can imagine a human being reaching that level of strength and precision with like enough training. It's a little cartoonish, but it's feasible. There's a point where she hits a tennis ball with a racket, and at first, this is a great joke, by the way. At first, it looks like she misses entirely, and be like, how uncoordinated this woman is. She's unfit to play tennis. But no, in actuality, she swung the racket so hard and so precisely that the wires on the racket cut it up. Not just like once down the middle. No, it was like a perfect grid. She sliced the tennis ball into so many grid-like pieces with the wires of the racket. And she's like, oh darn, I did it again. I have to remember to like lessen my strength just before like as I'm making contact with the ball with the racket, and then put all of my ungodly amount of strength into it so that it just tears a hole through a tree at the speed of sound.
She literally turns a tennis ball into a kamehameha. Like, she is very cartoonishly strong. Speaking of things that, we like to see, but that maybe weren't executed on great. Alright, the slice of life in this show, generally really solid. I mean, I say generally, we'll get to that, but generally really solid. But this show has a pacing issue. This show has a big pacing issue.
Um,
And
it's definitely like it's the same thing I was criticizing the show of last part and last block that we did. It's they go back and forth between this balance of, hey, like when they're moving it the best way I can describe it's very stop and start, and it's kind of there's a lot of whiplash, like unexpected whiplash when it comes to like the progression of the narrative. And there's one moment in particular, the whole tennis arc, which is probably my favorite arc of the show thus far. Uh,
I wouldn't go that far, but I would put it up there.
yeah, I really enjoyed it. And we'll dive more into it later. But to spoil the ending of it, it turns out this whole thing that could have brought us like one step closer to furthering this mission between bringing peace to the east and west. Turns out it was all in this whole 3 episode ordeal, all in the name of a joke. And like, it's a good joke, I guess. I did get a laugh out of it. It got a haha. But then I stopped to think about it because I like, okay, like, funny prank, you got me. That's a good bit. But like, you're gonna actually like find a secret thing that's gonna lead it back into the whole spy mission, right? You're not just gonna make this whole thing utterly pointless by the end, right? And nope.
It's really, I guess, enlightening to think back on this core of episodes and just really ponder what got furthered narratively. In the first 3 episodes, we get the introduction of Bond. Okay, that's important. We get Loid stopping
The
these
family
terrorists.
unit grew.
Yeah. And we get some terrorists stopped. Like, okay, war was prevented. And then we get nothing until the introduction of Fiona. Okay, so we get introduced to Fiona. New character. She's really fun. Awesome. And then they go on like this 3 episode escapade that eventually leads nowhere. Okay, so that wasn't narratively important. And then we get introduced to Donovan Desmond, like properly in the flesh for the first time. So that's like 4 narratively important things that happened in how many episodes? 13? And but the bigger thing to me is that season 1 had such a good balance of slice of life and plot related stuff to me. It was playing jump rope with it, but it was playing jump rope really well. And it never felt like we were getting too much of one thing. Like the dodgeball episode, for example. That episode was entirely pointless and in fact pulls the same prank that we got for the Fiona arc.
Yeah, but I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I'm more accepting of it in the school setting because it's the school setting. It's not a matter of national security whether Anya wins this dodgeball tournament or not. And like, it's funny to think that the Stella that she could win because of it, which does actually further her goal of meeting with or becoming an Imperialist scholar, and which thus helps the Operation Strix to make peace between the nations and national security. But there's less of a immediate threat of, if we fuck up there are dire consequences, whereas if Anya like lost the game and there really was a risk of like getting a Tornatress bolt for losing, like, it's not the end of the world. Like, the spies are really hamming this up like, okay, if we lose this painting that could have intel like that could put the two nations in jeopardy and reignite the war. That's a big fucking deal.
Yeah, like I don't mind that the dodgeball tournament did that because it's just a really funny episode on top of everything you said. And it's like I don't mind if the show takes an episode or two to be a slice of life. In fact, for the first half of this core, I was perfectly okay with 3 slice of life episodes in a row. But the first 2 episodes of this block are like kind of mid.
Oh, wait, hold on. Uh, the your stuff in the first episode of this block, it was entertaining. I would you see, because the thing is, this is a good show. Like we both agree that the
Yeah.
show is great, and saying that it's mid for this show is like leaps and bounds ahead of most anime on just like on average. But every once again, like it's I can't help but think that we're just like repeating ourselves sometimes. Like the whole you're returning something that Anya lost to school. I can't help but like think back to wasn't there like a season or I can't say season because we season 2 bros
Just
got
go
cut.
go ahead.
Yeah, fucking
Call it
yeah,
whatever
season
you want.
1. I could have sworn wasn't there like a bit where Yor had to like go like track her down or something at school?
If there was, I don't remember exactly what it is, but my problem with it, more so than it being repetitious, is that it just doesn't really. It feels so pointless. Not even just narratively, but it's like you watch it in real time, right? So here's everything that happens. So Anya goes to school, and Yor looks at her desk, and she's like, "Whoa, wait, you forgot your PE shirt." Then she goes to school and finds Anya, and there's an admittedly funny gag about her like climbing the window, and one of the classmates is like, "Oh, look, it's the Spider Woman that everyone's been spreading rumors about." And then Yor eventually finds Anya and gives her the shirt, and Anya's like, "Yo, we don't have PE today." But also Loid's there. And so after Yor's like walking away all disappointed in herself, Loid walks up and is like, "Yo, what are you doing here?" And Yor's like, "Oh, well, Anya forgot her PE shirt." And then Lloyd's like, "I bet. Anyway, let's go on a date." And then they go do that, and that's like the end of the episode. We don't even see them go out for dinner or anything. What was what was that? What was the point? What was the driving entertainment factor? It's not boring. There's some funny stuff in there, but it feels a little substanceless compared to most of the other slice of life bits in this show.
I did a quick look back of all the past episodes, and I got it confused with there was not another episode where Yor trailed Anya to school or anything like that. It was just what I was thinking of is like all of the various times that where Anya goes missing around Yor, and then she just goes into spy mode to like track her down and find her.
Mm.
I think I was mostly thinking of like the first few episodes of this part, but it is we're kind of double dipping into previous exploits on that end, which just further emphasizes how horribly and tragically underutilized Yor is in the show. And hopefully she gets better in season 2 and the movie, which is confirmed.
That's very pog, because I still do like this show, and I'm still excited for season 2 and the movie. But, alright. Another thing that made me sort of I hesitate to say cynical, but yeah, it's like the best word I can think of going into this arc was that I have some friends that have read the manga, and they know about the future of the series and whatnot. And I was privy to a certain piece of information. I wouldn't consider it a big spoiler. But Anya, okay, so according to my friends, Anya, currently in the manga, they're all caught up. still doesn't have a second Stella.
Oh, how many? Okay. This information will have more context to me when I know like where in the manga the anime is currently at as of like right now.
I think there's still, I mean, they have a season 2 and a movie confirmed. I imagine they're not super far into the manga, which means that there is a lot of narrative that a lot of chances for the narrative to move forward, and it just doesn't, so I've heard. And that is, to me, astonishing. In the worst way possible, astonishing.
Let me see if I can take a quick peek into the Spikes Family wiki and see just how far exactly we are. Uh, duh, 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 duh. So, here, talk about here. I'll look into this. Talk about the literally anything at this point.
All right. Uh I'm looking through my notes. I guess we'll go on about the slice of life bits more. The Gloomin bit at the beginning of episode 19 is funny, but with the knowledge going into it that Anya still didn't have any more Stellas, I couldn't help but see the Gloomin bit as like, oh, yeah, we're gonna get a lot more of this. Even though it is funny, but it feels a little weird and disconnected coming off the back of 3 slice of life episodes in the previous block of episodes. And then episode 20, the beginning of that was probably my favorite of like this 2 episode stretch of slice of life episodes where Loid is he apparently is actually working as a psychiatrist as like a side gig in between spy stuff. And there's like a bunch of other spies there. And Anya's there taking notes for a school project. And I thought that was pretty fun. It established more about the world. And Anya gets stuck in an event. And that's pretty fun to see. But it's still, too much slice of life in too rapid of succession. And then the final half of the episode is just, once again, kinda nothing. Anya sees this puzzle on a spy, like her spy cartoon, and she's like, yo, I'm gonna write down this puzzle and give it to my friends so people can solve them. And Frankie's like, what does this puzzle mean? Did it come from a woman who has a crush on me? And so he goes to the bridge with flowers, and then there is no one, and Anya's just there making more puzzles. And that's the end of the episode again.
All right, I've looked into it. So, the anime ends off at like the very first chapter of volume 7, and currently the manga is up to volume 10. So that's like another 12 episodes worth of content, 12 to 16. So that's that's like a normal standard season's worth of television of no progress on Operation Strix to my according to your friends, which does not give me the most confidence.
It's just baffling because even the second cour not having any progress on Anya getting more Stellas is weird, because it feels like we should be having at least a Stella per cour. Like, I don't think that's an unreasonable pace for this show to go at.
Yeah,
but
that seems
unless there's
very
like
reasonable.
Unless they have like a big arc with a lot of, narrative relevance that is like somehow disconnected from any of the Stellas that takes up like 4 or 5 episodes, I don't think it's unreasonable to have like a Stella per cour. But instead, we're apparently going 2 and possibly a half cours without one.
You just hate to see it. You mentioned the Gloomin episode. I will say that one got a hearty laugh out of me.
Definitely same here. I do like how straight they play the emotional climax of like all the students wishing Gloomin goodbye.
Yeah, I love how like at first you can tell he's just kind of being a little shit trying to take advantage of everyone's like good graces and night and kindness by being like, "Oh man, like this juice does make me feel a little better. But I'm going to leave through the school and not even try like the top most expensive caviar. Oh, woe is me. You guys will get to eat it whenever." And I've never even get to, worn a Stella before. Oh, geez, Rick. Oh, I guess I'll never know what that's like. But then after a bit, the he does admit, like from the heart, that's like, I actually really wanted to sing with everyone at the choral concert or whatever. And fucking Becky starts off like a chorus with all of the class students, what I think it was fucking class 3, and they're all singing my boy Damian, quirked up white boy busting it down sexual style, dancing for his homie. And like it puts a tear in George's eye, and everyone gives him a single gift, and he's leaving with a gift from every student, and it's like, I'll never forget you guys. You guys are the best. And then he goes home ready to be like, okay, Dad, you can tell me that I can't go to Eden College anymore. And he's like, because I know that our company got taken over by the Desmonds, so just give me the news, Dad. And he's like, oh yeah, no, like, yeah, we got taken over, but that's because we got bought out. We're not going bankrupt. I'm just stepping down as CEO. We are just as rich as we were before, and you're still gonna go to school the next day.
They reached every business's dream to be bought out by another bigger business.
Capitalism, capitalism. And the look of embarrassment and shame on George's face when he comes back, and everyone like is looking at him like, wait, didn't he say he was gonna leave? Didn't we like have this whole emotional, heartfelt send off for this kid? And then they're all like really pissed at him now, like, yeah, give us our fucking shit back.
Gloomin is the most punished character in fiction. You hate to see it.
uh the show is, I've noticed like between the dodgeball episode and the tennis thing, this show's favorite joke is the bait and switch. It'll make you think one thing, and then it'll be like, oh no, it's not like this. This thing is actually like this.
To be fair, I saw the Gloomin punchline coming from a mile away.
Yeah.
Like, he's not gonna. I wouldn't call that a bait and switch, more like the inevitability slowly crawling closer.
Well, it's not that it's it's impossible to see coming. I'm just saying it's a recurring theme, a leitmotif, if you will, so that it goes throughout the entire series. Because it happened with the dodgeball, where we thought there was a Stella on the line, but there actually wasn't. And then we thought the tennis tournament was going to be for, this big important national security event. It wasn't. Even little things like you're showing up to her like coworker's house to under like shady circumstances. Then it turns out it's all just to learn how to become a better cook.
Yeah, you are sussing out a pattern.
And even with Fiona, we think it's like all one thing, and we think she's like trying to like become Twilight's wife to be like for the sake of the mission, but then it turns out she's just hard whipped for Loid.
See, the funny thing is, my first thought upon Fiona's introduction was, she's in love with Loid. And then all the other characters were like, no, she's just really intense about overtaking him. And I was like, okay, guess I was wrong. And then I was right all along.
And I love the contrast between how like she has this perfect poker face after years of training as a spy. and she's like, as that's like, she's cold as ice. She's Fiona Frost. She's Agent Nightfall, and she's never ever gonna break her facade. But on the inside, she is like constantly being like, "Marry me to Twilight, please. I'll be your wife. I'll, I'll do your cooking. I'll do your cleaning. I'll raise your kid for you." I laughed my ass off when she's like, "Here's my earnings for this month. It's all yours." I'm like, based. the finally the ideal woman.
I love how it's revealed too, where Anya starts reading this woman's mind, and she's like, "I love you," and then Anya like rubs her eyes, and then listens again, and this time it's, "I love you."
Yeah, it's like puppy love.
And then she goes on like this entire monologue daydream inside her head about how much she wants to marry Loid. And Anya's just there with the most hilarious expression, like, what am I witnessing right now?
Fiona's fucking great. She's see, I was gonna say no, well, no, this isn't a put down, because it's just that my favorite character in the show, like, seemingly, like, it swings on a pendulum. My based boy, Master Hendrickson, he is fallen out of my good graces not because he is any less based of a man or based of a character, but because he just hasn't had any like moments since he punched that dude in the face.
He kind of peaked at episode 4.
Yeah, and then yeah, everyone gets their moments. Like Loid, every time he gets like a badass moment, he rises in my good graces. I'm every episode I'm slowly cracking to the Anya cuteness, being like, yeah, that is pretty fucking adorable. Then seeing her like smile and laugh and having fun and all her wacky antics, wacky shenanigans. I'm falling prey, I'm falling victim to it. But I would say that even though Fiona's great, my favorite character, at least recurring character, because I still got spaces in my heart for based boys, Master Hendrickson and Bill, the hulking Adonis Chad 6-year-old. But as far as recurring characters go, I'd say it's got to be Damian.
Really?
Yeah,
that was unexpected.
I say Damian because he has like the most interesting like facet in the narrative where he's like his relationship with both his brother, who we never actually see, we just hear his voice, and his father, who is, as we all know, the target of Operation Strix. And it's this balance of trying to be like this snobby, I cannot afford to fail rich kid. I gotta be like this perfect, gotta be little Mr. Perfect. But also he has those moments of weakness where where it's either like he's like falling for Anya, or just wants to be like a fun loving kid, and like doesn't like necessarily want to push people away, but he's gotta fall under that. He falls victim to that pressure, all because he thinks it's gonna get him closer to his dad, because it's the only like thing he knows how to do. It's like the only way that he can think of to be like, okay, if I can't do well enough to become an imperial scholar, I am never going to get into good graces with my dad, let alone be able to like see him. I have to do like work my ass off and become like the best of the best just to be able to see him, let alone get his approval.
One of the most tragic lines in this show so far is when, so for context, Damian has scheduled this appointment with his dad through his brother, because Damian can't even contact Donovan. But he calls up his brother and is like, yo, could you tell dad to like meet me at X place at X time so that, we can see each other and maybe have a little chat? And his brother's like, I mean, I wouldn't get your hopes up, but sure, I can, dude. And so Damian's sitting there, And turns out Donovan does show up, and they have like the shortest, most surface level conversation where Donovan's literally about to leave without exchanging anything with Damian. He literally asks Damian, "What do you want to say?" And Damian's like, "Oh, nothing." And he's like, "Okay, lol, bye." And then right as he's turning away, Damian's like, "Wait." And then he starts telling him about, his grades at school and all the stuff he did. And Donovan's just like, "Is that it?" And Damian's like, yeah. And he's like, "Good job. Please continue to accomplish more so as to not bring shame to the Desmond name." That is enough to make Damian overjoyed. Just because he said, like, "Good job," and then literally says, "Don't bring shame to our name."
Yeah, good job, son. Make sure not to fuck up and stain, like, the name that your blood is forever tied to, or else you will be, like, an outcast to this family. And he's like, "Fuck yes!"
And Loid's just watching out the window being like, "Yeah, I feel like I have an idea of the Damian dynamic now, the Desmond dynamic."
And though I'm banking on it all to see, there's got to be a moment. I'm waiting for the moment where Damian's just like, "You know what? Fuck you, Dad. I don't need your approval. I've got friends here." Cuz like he has all these moments where he's just like kind of just a goofball. Like he has all these like fucking anime attack names for basic ass shit. Like he's when he's sweeping leaves or playing dodgeball. He's like that's the true Damian, and not just like the the "shut up, I'm better than everyone." That's the Damian in him. That ain't the Desmond.
As for my favorite character, it's very tough for me to figure out at this point in time. I definitely still like Anya a lot. I love how literally incompetent she is. I will forever love that the show chose to make her just completely unable to do anything right. Literally, in the final episode, she's literally like, "The Stella plan ain't gonna work. I'm too bad at everything for it. There's no way I'm gonna earn those Stellas." Yeah, so the only route I have is the befriend Desmond route. And she's still incompetent at that. At least on the surface. He's fallen for Anya slowly but surely. But I really like the dynamic between Fiona and Loid, because on the surface, they're both so deadpan and utterly serious, and Fiona even seems confrontational at times. But then on the inside, obviously, it's Fiona just just absolutely simping for this man.
Yeah.
I love the line where, okay, so for context, it's during the tennis tournament where these two roided up buff dudes
Can we talk about like that joke? That one got a good laugh out of me too. Because when the crime boss or whatever is like talking about like, "Oh yeah, these guys are in for a treat. We're gonna be my players are gonna be using this special doping agent we acquired," and we see them like injecting it into them, and they're like getting a little ecstasy off of it. And I thought it was just gonna be a standard like, "Oh, okay, they're like taking steroids, or they're gonna be like real maybe hyperactive and have a lot of energy to expend." No, they become fucking mutant muscle like freaks of nature.
They just become the Hulk.
And then like the reveal of, because like I just thought it was gonna be normal ass steroids. No, this is super steroids. This is like fucking Ninja Turtle mutagen.
And so the two buff dudes are going on about like, "Bro, Loid, what are you scared? Are you gonna piss your pants? Oh, and you're gonna have your little girlfriend have to change them for you." And Fiona in her head is like, "I would be happy to."
She knows, she's a dedicated woman. She knows what she wants. And then I love the I love the build up to like them being like this whole muscle bound thing, because like at first the first pair of players that they beat are retired tennis pros, and it's like okay, yeah, it's pretty believable that they could beat them. But you'd think that these like hulked out muscle bound freaks would pose at least a little bit of a challenge to them. They'd still overcome it because it's too early for them to be like in true danger of like losing it all. But to see them like just hard cut from being like, yeah, we're gonna fucking kill you. We're gonna kill you in this tennis game. All right, here we go. And game over. we phonies win.
You know, thinking back on it, I really hate that this wasn't plot relevant, because I would love for the actual, like, hard-hitting plot of Spy Family, of saving the world, or at the very least these two countries from all-out war, to involve this goofy tennis game where it's just the most insane... it's complete mayhem.
It'll go down as the second anime in history to have like the security of an entire nation be dependent on a tennis game, right up there with Death Note.
True. Right after the roided up buff dudes, they go up against basically the son and daughter of the dude running this whole shebang. And they're pulling out all these tricks. It's just such an entertaining game because you get to see each and every trick they pull. At first, it's like, okay, so they're in the waiting room and they're like locked inside. And there's like this gas that makes them weaker and saps their energy and makes their hands numb and whatnot. And so they realize it's happening to them because Fiona's cuts start to sting, and they try to hold their breath the best they can, but obviously they still get some of it on them because they're not able to escape the room. But then, it eventually wears off and they start owning these people, and so they pull out just all these insane tricks. At first it's, simple stuff not what you'd expect, but stuff that you could that seems, I guess, kind of reasonable.
I would not say a jet-powered turbine engine tennis racket and then racket whip
completely
nunchucks.
Forgot about that. Okay, well those ones are completely
things
out
I would have expected. Like the raising of the net, like yeah, that I expected. Like stuff like that, or maybe I was expecting like false calls from the umpire, maybe. But no, they have like grooves in the on the tennis court that have like that could lower in elevation ever so slightly just to like throw you off balance, to throw you off your game. And then it jumps to they have snipers in the fucking air vents to with rubber bullets to like just shoot you. And yeah, that's it.
They just shoot you, and apparently if they hit you at the wrong place, you can die. It is meant to just severely injure you, but no, they are lethal if they hit you in the wrong place. But Loid was prepared for that, and he straight up has a bulletproof vest with him, and so he's like basically the human shield as he keeps on, they both dodge all the bullets. They like read the cues that the two players give in order to shoot. Even the people, there's like these people right next to the net who just casually like start firing on them as well because they're just so dedicated to not letting them win.
And there's this sick ass cut of animation where they're like dodging all the bullets and like jumping over all the traps and while still playing having their service. And I'm like, god damn. Like between this and the dodgeball episode, I kind of want Wit to make a sports anime now. Just make a fucking
really
wild,
well
over the top
animated
sports anime.
Yeah, they really went all out with the animation for this whole thing. They must have gotten some good animators for this because
it is Wit with the benefit of CloverWorks.
True.
So we can 50% chalk this up to yet another CloverWorks W, which is becoming more and more common.
I've noticed this. You've become the CloverWorks stan, haven't you?
Bruh, Dress Up Darling, Bochi, and fucking this. Like,
And Akebi's sailor uniform.
yeah, that too. That's we're like 4 for 4 this year, baby. I mean, they probably made like something else this season that I just forgot about, but that's probably not good. But hey, Bochi.
Tokyo something ward, I think it's
Oh,
called.
oh yeah, Tokyo 24th Ward or whatever. Yeah, okay, that one forgettable. Who cares? Bochi invalidates it just by existing.
True. I love how at the end of the tennis tournament, their like skillful playing reforms the guy, and he's like, "Oh, I'll never cheat again." And Lloyd's like, "You have skills. If you just hone them, you can become a great player without the need for all these cheats." He's like, "Yes, yes, I will never cheat again." And his dad, he isn't even mad. His dad is outright happy that he lost because he's like, "Oh, my son's changed. He's reformed. He's changing as a person and growing up."
I love how Fiona's like, when the people are booing them for when people bet against them and they win anyway, and they're ridiculing Loid. She's just like, I've memorized every single person's face in here who ridiculed Twilight. I will have my revenge.
You know, honestly, I believe it. I believe that she literally has all their faces memorized.
She is the second strongest. Well, we all know who the strongest female character in the show is. Jury's still out on who'd win in a fight between Sylvia and Fiona.
I mean, I thought the strongest female character was Anya. She's just hiding it all.
Yeah, her retardation is holding her back.
No, it's the cause of her strength. Literally, she'll do something
balanced.
so mind-numbingly stupid that she just completely destroys her opponents because they couldn't see it coming.
Trying to think of what else happened in this block that's worth talking about.
Anya and Becky had a very wholesome, fun adventure to a clothing store that Becky's family literally bought out just so that they could explore it. And it was a very fun scene of
it was
Becky
cute.
Constantly, yeah. Go on.
Oh no, that's literally all I have to say about it. 'Cause, like, I enjoyed it. It was cute. Hair down Becky and fashion magazine cover Anya. You know, got me.
Oh yeah, they popped off with the outfit design in this episode. They were having a fun time.
Yeah, the show is consistently great looking throughout, which is to be expected from motherfucking Wit Studio.
Obviously, we've complained about it endlessly, but CG pedestrians, you get the point by now. They exist, but otherwise, a fantastic looking show.
Yeah, I would dare say that aside from maybe Chainsaw Man, it probably has the best looking art of any anime this year.
Really?
I don't mean animation. I mean like character art.
I mean, I'd still say Dress Up Darling trounces it at its best moments. Same with Akebi. Those had really detailed art even with all the animation.
I think what is bumping Spy X Family higher up for me is the just the multitude of like wacky character designs. Like I'm a big fan of how like a bunch of them kind of look kind of weird, kind of goofy, like fucking George Glooman, and how he's got like these weird like almost like raccoon eyes and like a triangle head.
I do love this show's sense of character design and how wacky it consistently gets.
Yeah, dude, Frankie is literally like just like either a Ghibli character or a Professor Layton character. Like
Speaking of wacky and good character designs, Donovan Desmond too. I
yeah,
really like his design.
I love how he just looks fucking unhinged, but like no, that's his default. He has resting insanity face.
Like his eyes are almost always wide open except when he narrows them, and every time, like the fact that his eyes are so wide open makes it so startling whenever he narrows them. And it's really cool because every time he like narrows his eyes, you're like wondering what's going through his head, what calculations is he making, and it's a very standout design. He looks so drab and dark, so you get, even though he isn't a traditionally menacing looking character, you still get that sort of dark aura from him.
No,
I
he's
very
pretty menacing
mucho
looking.
appreciate. I mean, yeah, I guess with like the moon-eyed stare,
Oh
he
yeah,
can be
that
pretty
like
menacing.
like the perfect posture at all times, the like very even symmetrical like way he just stands with his arms behind his back, the scars like around the side of his head. It all lends a very menacing aura.
You know, even more menacing than that, though, is the expression Loid has upon seeing him for the first time. Is like, that was Kino.
Yeah,
Because
like the smile that he's trying to put on, like, "Hi, I'm
he,
Loid Forger," because like he's
it's
trying
like
like
he's barely holding back his rage.
he's trying real hard. It's like that's how much of a professional this man is.
God, it's so good. It's like,
And now,
God, that
speaking
makes
of
Loid look
that
outright
moment,
scary.
yeah, like speaking of that moment, knock knock, what's that? Oh, is it the narrative? Is it finally time to like move it forward a little?
Yeah, after a core mostly of nothing, we finally do meet our big ol' antagonist, and I must say this episode was probably one of the best in the show so far. Like, it is consistently firing on all cylinders throughout. We get some fun Anya moments. We get, like you said, Damian, who has a lot of conflict in this episode that we already went into. We get Loid going on his new spy adventure. Peep and Donovan Desmond literally having a full-on conversation, which, as I've said before, is my favorite type of protagonist-antagonist interaction. Just having a conversation. And granted, this
And
one isn't
they're
like ideological, but it is very tense.
it's a little
I
bit.
mean, a
It's
little
not
bit,
like it's
to
not
be
like
fair.
this big character revealing this is like I base my entire worldview around this, but it's this clash of just how they view their opinions on raising children and how like while Loid is going on about how Anya's very eccentric, she's a bit unruly and sometimes it feels like he doesn't even really know her, and then Donovan like follows up with that with being like, yeah, it's true, even with blood, between like parent and child, their children are no more than strangers than anyone else. And like you can see how this affects Damian. He's real like torn up about this because like it was all his hard work, all his trying to get his dad's attention, and just to like hear out loud that he'll be nothing more than a stranger to him, only for Lloyd to fire back like, well, hey, you took your time out of your busy schedule to like see him, even if only for the briefest of moments, right? So at least you have to like care a little bit. And then he's like, perhaps you're right.
You really get the sense that he's like this paranoid dude who literally trusts no one. Because, he's hidden away, but also like you said, that line of him saying, like, oh, all humans are just strangers to each other at the end of the day. Like, oh, this guy doesn't forge connections. He sees everyone as an outsider. Very fascinating stuff. And with that,
I was gonna say, are we done already?
are we already done? I mean, yeah. Feel like we hit everything.
I Here, you know what? I think this swings back around to like the our big. I correct me if I'm wrong. Like I don't mean to speak for you on this one, but I think our shared complaint of this show is that while very much enjoyable and like a very good time to immerse yourself in the experience that is Spy X Family, the animated series, it's kind of a simple program.
I mean, I don't necessarily mind that it's simple. I give Azumanga Daioh a 10 out of 10, right? I have no right to complain about a show being too simple. I guess it's more so that
Are
it
we
need
disappointed that it's so simple when it's a show about a spy, an assassin, and a telepath, and also a dog that can see the future, trying to balance their home lives with their lives where they have spy work, assassin work, the abilities of an esper and a dog that can see the future.
I guess it's less a matter of simplicity and more a matter of getting the narrative moving and getting more pieces of the puzzle filled out and, with stuff happening around them instead of just sitting in slice of life for too long. I guess the main thing is that the show very much sets itself up as, hey, we have slice of life family fun, but also, more important than that even, introduced before that aspect is the spy stuff and saving these two countries from all out war. So it's a little weird when the slice of life becomes the main focus. Where if I were I mean, granted, this show's premise couldn't really exist without the plot focus, but assuming it could,
I
making
mean,
that assumption.
to be fair, the show is called Spy X Family, so I'm willing to accept an even dose of we'll count like all the slice of life home life stuff as the family part, and we'll go ahead and lump all like the assassin, all like high octane thriller action stuff in the spy part. But I just wish that they got equal billing, because like that's what the show is supposed to be selling us on. That's supposed to be like the big point of the show, and like in equal parts of spying, equal parts of familying. But it feels like the familying is overtaking the spying.
Very
Once
much so.
once again, Yor is one of our three main characters, and she barely has anything to do aside from, oh, hey, look at how freakishly strong she is, and look at how cute she is. Too bad she is not much. There's not much going on with her, quite literally in the old noggin and figuratively within the narrative.
You know, Fiona got way more cool moments in the few episodes she was in than I think Yor got this entire cour.
Like, I mean, hey,
I
let's go down the list and count all of the cool Yor moments she got this cour. She saved Anya's life once. From the terrorist.
She kicked Loid in the chin. That was
Yeah,
pretty cool.
I guess like she.
I'm willing to count that as cool.
Yeah. I don't know. Like she cooked. She cooked a somewhat her first decent meal. What a fucking deep, complex, emotionally rich character.
Yeah, I mean she's charming. It's just that give us that assassin stuff. Just stop holding back. Like imagine how much better this show could be if it would just give it to us already.
Yeah, and with that, I would say my final score is the same as it was before. Is a very strong 8 out of 10.
I would give it a very strong 9 out of 10.
It's fallen down. It's no longer the masterpiece. Nothing is sacred anymore.
You heard it here, folks. Castaway Anime, the podcast where nothing is ever sacred.
Now just so I can not we can get our story straight here. You ended up giving Bochi an 8, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Kill yourself.
Hey, in fairness, I said that if I rewatched it, I'd probably end up giving it a 9.
Well, rewatch it now. This is non-negotiable. We will. We won't even wait a full year to just do another set of Castaway anime episodes on Bocchi the Rock. We will not do Bocchi 1 year later. We will do Bocchi 1 month later.
You heard it here, folks. Next week, Bocchi Cast Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. Subscribe to see it.
Yeah, please, because apparently YouTube killed the last one that we did, which is a big shame.
Very big shame. YouTube and Susan, why do you do this to your creators? You're very cringe.
Truly, we need Loid Forger on the case to infiltrate, get the information on Susan, and end the war between the nation of YouTube and its people.
Only Loid Forger can save us now. And with that, I feel like we've let the closing notes go on long enough.
Yeah, so that's it. That's Spy Family. We will be continuing it in Season 2 and the movie. That's gonna be fun to watch in theaters. I don't know if they confirmed that the movie's gonna be like an original story or they're gonna like, I can't imagine that they're gonna adapt stuff from the manga as well if they already confirmed a Season 2 at the same time. I feel like it's just gonna be like one of those Gaiden stories, those anime originals.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see. Hey, I'm excited either way, so.
Yeah, more Spy X Family is a good thing at the end of the day. And if you want to make this podcast into an even gooder thing, viewer, go ahead and like the video, head on down to the comments, tell us what you thought about Spy X Family, and subscribe to the podcast for more episodes of Castaway Anime, more videos coming soon. 2023 is going to be a big year for the podcast, so get fucking hyped. Winter seasonal cast coming soon. 2022 retrospective coming soon. That's going to do her for this episode of Castaway Anime. I'm Neon Manta.
And I'm Fissured Biscuit.
You've already used Biscuit before. You're already running out.
Wait, I have? Wait, hold on.
Crispy Biscuit, I'm pretty sure, was the one.
No, it was Triscuit. It was Triscuit there.
You said
They're different,
okay.
I swear.
Debatable. It's more of a cracker than anything.
BTFO.
Alright, well, you'll see us next time.
Research Flat Earth, it's all real.
What?